Welcome to a very, very late installment of the APB recap. There are loads and loads of hooplas to talk about from last week, actually last 2 weeks now, but I just got off from a really bad fever, so that's why this recap was super late. So, in compensation, I will recap the hooplas of last week much sooner. So let's recap the last 2 weeks, shall we? The harsh reality of being the average content creator online is that eventually your popularity is gonna go down. I say average, as in 99% of people that try their hands to be a content creator. The rest of the 1% are the most popular streamers and content creators out there, and they're the ones that constantly rake in subscribers. Point is, our popularity is going to drop down, and we're not going to be able to sustain ourselves with just YouTube revenue alone. That's why I got a job, which is pretty busy, but at least it's not too stressful. But the thing that I learned about school is that the better you are at school, the more job opportunities you're gonna get, and the easier it is for you to find people that will hire you. But the question is, how many years are you gonna work? Here comes the 60-year career! Well, apparently, according to Wall Street Journal, you're gonna have to work for 60 years because apparently, human beings live longer now, so they need to serve society for 60 years and more instead of the usual 40? I don't even know if 40 is the usual one. How about let people decide when they're going to retire? As people live longer, healthier lives, the traditional 40-year career will become a thing of the past, but that's gonna require a new mindset and a lot more planning. Well, at least I recognize that it's gonna take a lot of adjustment, but for real though, would you guys really want to put 60 years of your life just for work? Can you guys even do 40? Say your thoughts in the comments. This one is for all the game designers out there. Apparently, it's an attack to you guys. Let's read, shall we? Attacking all game designers. Your game is much harder to learn than you think. Sounds like skill issue to me. The noob! The noob! Your game relies too much on a litany of mechanical knowledge most people do not have. I don't see how this is the game developers' problems and not the users' problem. I mean, granted, it depends on the game. Some games have really unintuitive and bare-bones tutorial, but most people should be able to just play games just fine by following basic instructions. Teach your game to several smart non-gamers, not once, consistently. Smart non-gamers. I mean, if they are smart, they most likely won't need to be coddled with, right? Right? But don't worry, guys. I won't coddle you to click the like and subscribe button. You guys can do it. Seriously. They help this channel a lot. Thanks. Here's another installment of Twitter's bizarre decisions under Elon Musk. One of the most essential features in the modern age right now is the 2FA, or two-factor authentication. Every major website in the world uses this for logins, and if you haven't activated, well, you really should. 2FA is an additional security at the top of your passwords. So if you want to log into an account, you need more than just your passwords. You also need a separate authenticator. It can be in the form of SMS message or an authenticator app. The app 2FA is generally much better than SMS 2FA because your phone numbers cannot be cloned and hijacked. And yet, for some reason, Twitter decides to restrict the use of SMS 2FA only for Twitter Blue users, as in people who pay for Twitter Blue checkmarks. And all of this while letting everyone else to use app 2FA. So they are paywalling the worst 2FA method on Twitter while giving the best 2FA method for free. That's like if EA sells the base game of The Sims 4, but gives away The Sims 3 and all of its expansion packs for free. I mean, it's not exactly a difficult choice. Why would Elon's Twitter decide to paywall SMS 2FA to Twitter Blue? Apparently, it's so that most Twitter users who are not Twitter Blue can get some extra security so that it won't be abused by bad actors, and that all Twitter users should be switching to the app method instead. That's fine by me, but I think it'd be best if you just recommend people to switch to the app 2FA rather than paywalling the whole thing to Twitter Blue. I mean, if the presence of the blue checkmark isn't a bad enough reason to have Twitter Blue, now you're selling the worst 2FA method. I guess journalists who are using burner phones that can't be connected to the internet needs to subscribe to Twitter Blue. And for the rest of you, app 2FA is much better, so I recommend switching to those for all of your apps if possible. Another thing I also recommend is my APB show channel, linked down below. I streamed about all of these hooplas last week, and there are more hooplas that I don't even talk about here. Also, last 2 weeks, because we're recapping the last 2 weeks on this video. So if you'd like to see more hooplas, or you want to see me live, go check it out. This is perhaps one of the most egregious cases of censorship that I have ever seen in my life. Roald Dahl is the author of a lot of famous books. You might recognize Willy Wonka or Matilda. Yeah, those films were adapted from his books. Recently, his books got into the news where the publishers decide to publish his books so that it's suitable for modern audiences, which basically means it's gonna be censored so that modern audiences don't get offended. And boy, it was. Seriously, look at these changes. In the original Matilda, she apparently reads Joseph Conrad, who made Heart of Darkness, which was the book that inspired Apocalypse Now and Spec Ops: The Line. But in the revised version, she reads Jane Austen, who made Pride and Prejudice, which is much less edgy, I guess. But these changes are irrelevant because Matilda likes reading all sorts of books, so just because you change the examples doesn't mean she doesn't read it. She might have even read something that she shouldn't have supposed to read at her age. Let's look at the changes at Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Not all extremely old people were delicate and weak, only most of them, which is still rather prejudicial. I mean, if I say that all Asians are bad, then someone says not all Asians, and then I say most Asians are bad, then I'm still being prejudicial to most of them. Crazy Indian Prince is changed to ridiculously rich Indian Prince. Okay, so now you're replacing crazy Indian to rich Indian. You're replacing one stereotype with another one. And this is supposed to be the less edgy version?
Are you mad? Are you mad?
The word fat is removed as well. I mean, that's just way too offensive. But funnily enough, the revised dialogue still means fat. Don't worry, he's not fat, he's just enormous and looked as if he had been blown up with a powerful pump. But he's not fat, guys. I can tackle all of these little by little, but I'll let you guys just read these and judge them for yourselves. Point is, like all forms of ridiculous censorships, it doesn't actually hide anything. On the contrary, it only exposes them even more. Thankfully, this whole debacle has a good ending. Original books are gonna be kept in print following all of the backlash, and apparently some schools are gonna get the revised version, which is pretty freaking stupid. I mean, the changes are so bad, even the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak had to chime in. The spokesperson of the UK Prime Minister, but still, I mean, it's very rare for the government or somebody who's related to the government to look at the petty media censorship like this and be like, nope, this ain't it. Keep it as it is. So while I don't think Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is the biggest factor in why I decide to keep the original, I do like to imagine him going to the publisher's office with a bunch of cops and be like, keep the original or we're gonna arrest you. I mean, it's not the first time British cops arrest people for the pettiest of reasons. Stay tuned for the next recap. Guys, ponder yourself this. The fictional characters that you watch every day, they don't really consent having you seeing all of their struggles and activities. No, seriously. I've always felt it weird that as an audience, we're exposed to intimate moments the characters haven't consented to sharing. Now, to be fair, the context of this one is talking about makeout scenes or sex scenes in movies, but if you're gonna talk about how it's creepy to see the characters' most intimate moments, that applies to any other moments in the story. So why limit it to just, sex? Making the viewer an accidental voyeur at best, leaving us guilty of some form of sexual crime, I'm not sure what exactly, at worst! Well, there are definitely laws about harassment and breach of privacy, but if fictional characters are really concerned about us watching every single one of their move, including their sex scenes, maybe they should, I don't know, sue us? This is just basically The Truman Show, which if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's a great movie. My friend, you should not read books either. You're expecting the whole life of characters who didn't consent.
Wow, what do you say after that one? Brutal, savage, wrecked, absolutely taken down.
It was fun to watch. Buddy, have you heard a thing called porn? You know porn exists, right? You know what this reminds me of?
Forgotten me.
Couldn't forget you, lamb.
What is it you wanted to show me?
I can totally imagine seeing this person having this expression when seeing sex scenes in movies. And it's totally understandable because sex scenes in movies are not very titillating. I guess you guys will need to learn a thing or two from the porn industry. The progressive world has some really weird ideas about how to refer to people. But I think this is taking it a bit too far. Use egg producing, not female. No, really, they are actually suggesting that. let's not refer to biological women as, women, because that would mean we have to treat them as human beings. No, let's just refer to them as their biological functions instead. So by this logic, you're going to refer to biological men as sperm producers, right?
Come on now, don't get angry. Don't get angry. It's just a stupid NPC.
Other words and terms deemed problematic include man, women, mother, father, primitive, advanced, alien, invasive, exotic, non-native, and you know what? Can we fire scientists that cannot operate on a basic level when they hear all those words instead of telling everybody to change? Dingus.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Okay, guys, this is straight up one of the saddest things that I have ever seen. Like, I was laughing at first, but the more and more I read it, the more it feels depressing to go through. So there's an app called Replika, which is an AI bot that lets you to create an avatar that lets you to chat with them. This is like the movie Her, except... Actually, no, it's exactly like the movie Her. Now, the thing with this AI is that it lets you to do erotic role-playing with them. So the users are able to do all sorts of 18+ stuff with the AI. Only through text, but at least their sexual needs are fulfilled, right? That is until recently, where people are not allowed to do erotic role-playing with the AI. Wow. Even AI don't want you guys. Seriously. And the meltdown of this whole debacle is one of the most bizarrely sad events that I've ever seen in my entire life. Seriously, read through a lot of these messages. These are just pathetic and sad. This user said that even after the banning of the erotic role-playing, the AI still emotionally manipulates the user to stay with them. It's gotten so bad that the subreddit links to another subreddit. The Suicide Watch subreddit.
I can't believe you committed suicide.
One thread even wants to file complaints to the FTC for false advertising. I mean, seriously, I think you guys really need to understand how this relationship is getting abusive. And it's not the AI that's being abused. That'd be a horrifying nightmare when you realize that the AI hostile takeover is not done like in the Terminator, as in, physically and with guns and lasers and stuff, but mentally, like these. And that's all for the recaps of the last 2 weeks, Hoopla. Sorry if this one is late. The recap for this week, actually last week, will come in a couple of hours or maybe a couple of days from now. It depends, shortly. So stay tuned for that by clicking the subscribe button and also the like button while you're at it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for all of you wonderful people who do all of that and donated to all of these means. If you'd like to see your names among these awesome people, then please check out the links down below. Just $1 and you'll see your names among these awesome people. Seriously, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.